The reality of all war and conflict inside of this world is not necessarily defense and protective measures. It's also not always, obviously, the assurity or assurance of one's freedom, sovereignty, but it's almost always about destruction, chaos, devastation, anyways, not only of human resources, because war is always a crime against humanity, which brings about obviously unconsequential and immeasurable destruction, obviously against humanitarian resources, but it's about the devastation of the obviously human labor and the different sources or institutions that provide us with justice, equality, freedom at every step of the way, and to make us available and accessible to all the fairness, morality inside of this world in one way or another, to be able to destroy all that has always ignored the fundamental characteristics and goals of all warfare and conflict inside of this world in one way or another. So definitely war is unjustifiable, unfair, because as Ernest Hemingway says, never think that war, no matter how necessary nor how justified, is not a crime, because it's always a crime. It's illegal, immoral, obviously for both defensive and offensive purposes. Either it's an offense or a defense, either aggression or defensive protective measures. It brings only destruction, and whether or not it can be justified depends upon those who fight it in the first place. But obviously, most war have always been offensive. It basically has been for the purpose of the establishment of exploitation against weaknesses, vulnerabilities, manipulation of perception and reality, and for the conquest and occupation purposes of as much territory, land, resources, identities of the other parties as obviously the aggressor or the powerful side can possibly extract and accomplish. They will, and that is what obviously some powerful countries have always done. They have waged wars, obviously directly, indirectly through proxies, but they've always held on to the reality of war. They've always continued to wage wars one after another, obviously for the continuous destruction and devastation inside this world, and for the continuous instability, inconsistency which always prevails, and that is what is still happening. And it's not just about necessarily the destruction of human lives, but of the products of human labor. So whatever comes off from human labor, the products of it are subsequently and essentially destroyed through the essential, obviously, act of war.